Nev here, and today on Man Can Cook I have a salmon rissoles recipe for you. Now the great part about this recipe is that it uses tinned salmon. I find tinned salmon usually so hideous that I can't eat it by itself. So this recipe actually disguises kind of what you're eating. Now the best part about tinned salmon is that it's usually wild caught. So it's really high in essential omega-3 fatty acids, which in a modern diet we kind of don't get enough of. So this is my LCHF salmon rissoles. For this recipe you'll need 415 grams of tinned salmon drained. Anything that looks like this has got to be good for you. You can leave all the bones and skin in too. 160 grams of cauliflower riced to the size that you want. So to rice your cauliflower, just break it up into smallish pieces and put it in a blender or a food processor until you get to a rice kind of size. 1 small onion, finely chopped. I'm using a red onion or a Spanish onion only because it was smaller than all my brown onions, but you could easily use a brown onion as well. 50 grams of almond meal, 25 grams of chia seeds, 1 teaspoon of dried dill. You could also use fresh dill as well. The zest of 1 lemon, 2 eggs, around 20 grams of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Begin by cooking your onion in a small frying pan using the olive oil. Whenever I make rissoles, whether it be salmon or beef, I always prefer to cook my onion beforehand, just so that it gets nice and caramelized. It takes away that real oniony flavour of it in the final rissoles. So you don't have to cook your onions beforehand, you can just put them into the mix, but this is just what I prefer. While your onions are cooking, add all of the other ingredients to a large bowl. And then using a fork, you're going to mix this together really well, making sure that you really break up the salmon and the bones in the salmon particularly. Now you can cook the salmon rissoles either in a fry pan on the stove in just a little bit of oil, or you can bake them in the oven. So if you bake them in the oven, you need to turn the oven on to 180 degrees Celsius or about 350-360 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you did decide to cook your onions, once they're cooked, just add them and mix them in too. When the mixture is really well combined, form it into patties. I use an ice cream scoop, just so that they're all the same size. So just place them on a baking tray lined with baking paper. And this ice cream scoop is going to give me about 10 rissoles. So it depends on what size you want your rissoles, will depend on how many you get from this mix. And then these are going to go into the oven and you're going to cook them for about half an hour. And here are the finished salmon rissoles. These go really well with a nice homemade mayonnaise or a tartare sauce. Really delicious, and you can freeze them too. And here's what the rissoles look like inside. Normally salmon rissoles have got potato, but we've used cauliflower instead. You wouldn't even know. If you are terrified of tinned salmon like I am, I urge you to try this recipe because you can't tell that it's tinned salmon that you're eating. Please click like if you liked my video, and I'd also love you to subscribe. And when you do subscribe, make sure you click on the notifications button so that you get notified every time I upload a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.